The Colleen Ballinger story keeps getting worse every single day. In my last video, we talked a lot about the allegations that had come out about Colleen Ballinger, aka Miranda Sings, and the way that she may have behaved towards her fans, which included people like Adam McIntyre, who had previously called her out for sending him inappropriate gifts when he was a child and using his labour for free, and then guilting him when she got in trouble for one of the tweets that he had made on her account for her with her approval. Check out that video if you haven't already, link in the description, but if you're all caught up, then you will be sad to hear that this is not where it ends. Every day there is just a new story out about Colleen, and each one is worse than the next. And we're going to be talking about a lot of them. There are a lot of allegations of even more inappropriate behaviour, especially with her young fans. Allegations of her hating people of colour and just not wanting them in her shows. Blatant racism, fatphobia, prejudice, bullying of both friends and fans and former friends, and some borderline illegal behaviour. For now, I want to focus on one of the main stories, and really one of the most recent stories that has come out, which has to do with Colleen and Trisha Paytas. A couple of weeks ago, Colleen Ballinger and Trisha Paytas created a podcast together, the Oversharing Podcast. Despite the fact that they were never really close friends, they have known each other over the years. They have hung out together, they've collabed together and done mukbangs together. And they do have a lot in common, considering they're both from a similar era of YouTube and the fact that they're both mothers now. And apparently this is actually something that created a bond between them, according to Trisha herself. After Trisha had her daughter, they became friendlier. They had something in common, and it was nice for Trisha, in her own words, to be able to talk to another mother. I didn't mean for that to rhyme, I'm so sorry. Another mom. But it was very soon after they released their podcast that a lot of the stuff about Colleen started to come out, and this understandably put a bit of a damper on the podcast, because in it people would be commenting about Adam and about what Colleen had done to her fans, asking both Trisha and Colleen to address it, which they never did. But one of the allegations that Adam eventually made about Colleen had to do with Trisha. You'll know he's been uploading a lot about Colleen recently since Cody Rants exposed some of Colleen's behaviour, essentially exposing that Colleen had been talking about Adam behind the scenes, sharing DMs, and trying to get people to make videos. Again, if you are not caught up on this, I have a video, I do my best to condense it, it's in the description. Now, the accusations that Adam made to do with Trisha weren't brought up in his initial video, but he did bring it up later, and they are extremely worrying. And again, I need to remind you all that any of the stories that Adam tells about his relationship with Colleen are all from when he was a child, when he was underage, ages 13 to 17. I need to remind you all as well, before we move on to the rest, that this is an opinion piece. It is based on opinion and speculation. It is not meant to defame or harass any individual group or company. Thanks. The accusation that Adam makes about Colleen is that Colleen allegedly sent him Trisha Paytas' adult content while he was underage. Firstly, this is just disgusting that she would do this, because the purpose of her doing this was to allegedly, again, make fun of Trisha Paytas and make fun of her body. She would apparently send photos and videos of Trisha, these very specific kinds of pictures and videos of Trisha to people, including apparently to a 15-year-old Adam McIntyre, and make fun of her. I can't imagine your headspace to want to do that. I truly cannot, especially considering this isn't just some random person to Colleen. Trisha is somebody that she had collabed with, somebody that she had hung out with, was in the same circles as. She would be nice to Trisha's face and then do this behind her back. But taking aside that part, that's potentially illegal. California Penal Code criminalizes the sending or distribution to minors of harmful material of a nature. The conduct at issue can occur over the internet, chat room, through the mail, by fax, or by any other delivery method. Now, just to bear in mind that I'm not a lawyer, I just did my best to research some different laws. This is one of the things that I found. And yeah, it could potentially be a felony. Federal law strictly prohibits distribution of obscene matter to minors. Any transfer or attempt to transfer such material to a minor under the age of 16, including over the internet, is punishable under federal law. So this has all just gone to a completely new level. It's gone from us saying that Colleen may have been pretty inappropriate with fans, and I think a lot of us, me included, would say, yeah, she has been inappropriate with young fans. But this is just a whole nother level that completely pushes it over the point of, you know, I was going to say pushing it over the point of being excusable. I fully think that what we knew up until this point was not excusable, but essentially it's gone from immoral to potentially illegal. It is important to note, though, that no screenshots of these specific communications between Colleen and Adam have been shared so far. But one thing that was going around was a clip of, again, Colleen making fun of Trisha's body.
We just saw a whale. We saw a whale tail. And I'm not talking some girl whose song is hanging out of her pants. I'm talking an actual whale tail. Yeah, we did see a square. And I'm not talking about Trisha Paytas. I'm talking about a whale.
And pretty soon after Adam started making these claims, Johnny, who we spoke about in the previous video, did share screenshots because he says that the same thing happened to him. However, the difference here is that Johnny would have been around 20 at the time, so he would have been an adult, and so this would not, to my knowledge anyway, be a crime. But crime or not, it's still gross that she would be sending, again, pictures and videos of Trisha Paytas in adult content to make fun of her, and then would be nice to her face, and then years later would make a podcast with her. She sent him this message saying, "OMG Johnny, you look so cute today," and then sends a picture of Trisha, obviously making a joke that he's Trisha. And he just says, "I hate you." Obviously, I don't need to spell it out to you. You've met mean people in your life. The implication is just that, you know, it would be embarrassing to look like her, something like that. Another one where he messages Colleen first, saying, "Congratulations to you and Eric, your parents." He's congratulating them on the birth of their child. And obviously she doesn't respond immediately. She's just had a kid. She's busy. Okay, that's fair enough. She messages a month later, "OMG, you look amazing, just saw the new photo." And it's Trisha, you know, it's Trisha content. Again, making fun of her. And you can clearly see at no point was he saying anything that could have prompted this. They weren't having a conversation about Trisha. It wasn't anything like that. She just randomly, a month later, after he congratulates her on having a new kid, she just sends this, completely unsolicited. More when she sends very, very graphic content of Trisha where she is fully, you know, out there. Johnny's new profile pic. Bit of an obsession. Really, it seems to be a bit of an obsession that she had with doing this.
I'm here with my favorite, Trisha. I am obsessed with Trisha so much.
Oh, but don't worry, because it gets so much worse, because apparently it did not just end with Colleen sending people pictures of Trisha. No, apparently she would have full-on viewing parties for Trisha's content, for her videos. And again, the whole purpose of this was just to make fun of Trisha before she would then go and act all nice and be all friendly and invite her over and all of this. I'm just going to give you a second to let that sink in. She had viewing parties of Trisha Paytas's adult content and then continued to be nice to Trisha to her face. Johnny shares a tweet which he says is proof that Colleen was having these viewing parties, showing one of Colleen's friends holding his laptop smiling next to Trisha, and then he responds talking about it. Another where Colleen is clearly sending part of a video, and he even plays this video and says, "I'm a subscriber now." What the hell is this about? What in God's name? But we do know already that she's a bit catty. She's known for being a bit of a mean girl. In the nicest way possible. That's the nicest way to say that. Not that she's a mean girl in the nicest way possible. She's a mean girl in the worst way possible. Mean girl is just a very gracious way to say that. Even Shane Dawson had said in an interview a couple of years ago that behind the scenes, Colleen was snarky and catty and a mean girl and would just bitch about everybody.
Colleen is the best because she needs 10 of these fans. She is the most hateful, shadiest. I love her. Like, whenever we hang out, literally the first words out of her mouth are, okay, like, what do you got? Who do you hate? Who's next? Like, just going in on everybody. I love it.
Oh,
you gotta
fun.
Get her on here.
Oh, I would love to.
It's rough.
Please throw in a good word for us.
Yeah. That's the thing is a lot of, well, I guess comedians in general, like a lot of the comedy comes from hate, self-hatred. And when you hate yourself, you hate everybody around you. So I've got a little better at it, but no, hanging out with her, man.
She loves to throw some zingers,
loves it. Loves it. And she's so good at being nice to, like, she'll do collabs with every YouTuber, and they think, like, I'm like Colleen's best friend, and then we get together, and I do the same thing, but then we'll get together, and oh, man.
They only knew. Will be flung tonight.
Oh.
What this makes me wonder as well, and I don't know, this just makes me quite sad for Trisha, is the fact that Shane Dawson for years was Trisha's best friend. And we know now a lot of stuff has come out that perhaps even though they were best friends for so many years, he didn't actually treat her the best. And the fact that he's acknowledged that Colleen has been catty and, you know, bitching about people, I do wonder, and this is not proof, there's no way to prove that this happened, but it does make me question whether Shane Dawson and Colleen Ballinger were together making fun of Trisha, with Trisha thinking that Shane was her best friend and thinking that Colleen was somebody she could be friendly with. If that is the case, that's just really sad that Trisha was just always the butt of the joke. And it's possible that Colleen may have messed with Trisha beyond this as well. There's a clip going around on Twitter of Trisha going to Colleen's house, but Colleen had given her the wrong address, but she gets there eventually. And the person who tweeted it thinks that this kind of shows that more than likely Colleen was pranking her.
Trisha made it! But she almost didn't because I gave her the wrong address.
And I went to that person's house and I was like, hi, and then it wasn't.
She was like, is Colleen here? And they're like, what are you talking about?
Can I be 100% honest? I literally thought you were like pranking me, like making a joke on me. I did. I was like, oh my god, it's like Mean Girls. Like they were like making fun of me.
Prank you? Like gave you the wrong address? Like this is funny. Now she'll never come over.
Yeah.
Make her drive all the way out here. And then like.
No, for real. Because it took me like, it was a traffic. It was like 5 o'clock on a Monday, and I was just like, oh my god, they pranked me. They're making fun of me, and I thought that's what it was.
Oh my gosh,
like, but it's the opposite now.
That's hilarious. That's where my head would have gone to.
Again, it's not proof. It could have been an accident, but with everything we already know about Colleen making fun of Trisha behind the scenes constantly and to this disgusting and sickening degree, it would kind of be believable that she would do that. Trisha Paytas herself, though, did finally respond to everything. Now, people have been asking her to respond for a while. They wanted her to talk about the allegations being made about Colleen, everything to do with her fans, because, again, Colleen and Trisha had a podcast together. She gives some explanations as to why she hadn't spoken out about it. Firstly, saying that she is just known as somebody who's always been in drama, which, yeah, we do kind of know that about her, but apparently she's been working on herself, on her mental health, and she is trying to take a step back and not address everything and talk about everything online. And says because of her BPD that she gets triggered really easily, and it's not good for her mental health to constantly be talking about this stuff online because it can trigger her, make her spiral, and do things like that, which, to be honest, I know a lot of people watching this are gonna say, well, like, she just didn't want to address it. This isn't a good enough excuse. I kind of disagree. I think it's really good that she's learning more about her mental health. I think for years we've watched Trisha struggle with that without realizing that that's what we're watching. Because at the end of the day, she does have a personality disorder, and it does affect her. And it affects her personality and the way that she behaves. And I'm kind of proud of her that she's recognizing the things that trigger her and the things that might make her worse. And that she's, you know, trying to look after herself. With that being said, I think there is a case to be made for maybe she should have talked about this sooner, considering how serious the allegations was and that this was her co-host of a podcast. But I still do respect her for acknowledging her triggers and trying to grow. She also says that she wasn't aware of all of the things that were coming out, but she does have a firm stance against people talking to anybody that's overage, and that's just because, for one, it is gross, and I think most people agree that it's gross for adults to be talking to teenagers. And if you don't agree, And some of it as well has to do with her own trauma from relationships that she had when she was underage with adults. And when it all came out, she was really shocked because Colleen was somebody that she had gotten closer to. She kind of related to her because Colleen was somebody who had been cancelled in the past. They are both mothers, all of that. And so it seems like what happened was that Trisha gave her a lot of leeway. Tried to see that Colleen had grown from her past, which, as we can see, Trisha really is, whether you like her or not, she is trying to better herself, and you can see that clearly. I don't agree with a lot of the things she's doing now. For example, I really don't agree with using your kid for content. I really think it's gross, and Trisha herself has said in the past that it's gross. It's not relevant for this video though. But I do think in a lot of other ways, she has grown and changed and tried to move on from things from her past. So she was trying to give Colleen the benefit of the doubt. But I think potentially she's gone too far in the other direction of giving too much sympathy and too much empathy and too much understanding. There is definitely a middle ground that can be found. You don't need to immediately condemn somebody, but you also don't need to give them too much credit. However, this is Evangelina from the future here, and I just want to say some stuff has gotten pointed out that Trisha's whole thing about saying she had a hard boundary with not associating with anybody under 18 and not talking to anybody under 18 might have just not been true. I think I may have been doing what I accused Trisha of doing, which is giving her too much sympathy and too much empathy, which may not have been deserved. I think I was being a bit too lenient on Trisha, given the fact that she had had something awful done to her, and I don't in any way think what Colleen did to her was okay. I think it's really gross, and Trisha definitely didn't deserve that. But two things can be true at the same time, and it is possible that Trisha just didn't speak about the other allegations to do with Colleen's fans and kids and things like that because she just didn't care, and didn't care until she was involved with it and until she felt wronged. I still think what happened to her is wrong, but I was still being too lenient on Trisha. So going forward, and for everything I've already said, just bear that in mind. I couldn't cut everything out without losing a lot of context that I still wanted to give in the video, but just know that a few days after recording this, this is my opinion now. Things started to change a bit when Colleen released her
The only thing I've ever groomed is my 2 Persian cats.
apology video. Are we calling it an apology video? I'm still sorry, I can't. I'm still shocked by the ukulele. I still have the other ukulele here from my last video. Should we all sing the Toxic Gossip Train? No, we're not going to do that today. Because if you take the humor out of it, it is kind of a disgusting video. I mean, she was accused of really horrific stuff to do with kids, and her response to that is to take out a ukulele and sing. Like, it is gross once you move past the hilarity of it. Because to be honest, yeah, it's funny in a shocking kind of way. Trisha says though that she was really shocked by this because Colleen had said that she was growing and moved on and had taken accountability, but from Trisha's perspective, Colleen was really not taking accountability in this video and was just brushing past everything, which, yeah, that is what she did in that video. In her little ukulele song, she does not take accountability for anything, and I will not pretend otherwise. She makes a joke out of it and blames everybody else and calls herself the victim. That's essentially what it is. So Trisha was already beginning to feel a little bit weird about the whole situation. And then the screenshots came out. What we learned from Trisha is that she had clearly known about the allegations that were being made, that Colleen had had these viewing parties, that she had shared Trisha's photos and things to people, and Trisha had asked Colleen about this. And did Colleen say, look, yeah, I did that, I'm sorry, it was a while ago, I really shouldn't have done that? No, No, she absolutely does not do that. Instead, she just blatantly lies. She tells Trisha, I did not do that. I absolutely did not do that. In fact, those people sent those things to me. I did not send it to them. She blatantly lies about it to Trisha's face. How, in any capacity, is that taking accountability? And then the screenshots come out, and we can all see that was not the case. It was not the case that those things were sent to her. She was sending them, she was doing these viewing parties, all allegedly, but we can see the screenshots. How are we supposed to believe anything that Colleen Ballinger ever says, a single word that comes out of her mouth, when she has so provably, allegedly, lied about so many things? And we can see her lying. We can see her lying, and then the evidence coming out, it just keeps happening. How are we supposed to believe anything that she says? Ever? I, for one, absolutely do not. I have no reason to believe a single word that comes out of that snaky woman's mouth. She is nasty, she is despicable, and she is just a liar. I don't know if she was just a mean girl in school, or if she was bullied and just wanted to be a mean girl and is doing it now in her 30s. Probably the latter. I like to hope and pray that people who are mean in school kind of grow out of it. Colleen gives me the vibe that she was kind of a sheltered, Christian, probably theater kid. We don't have those here, but I've heard of them in America. And she got bullied and now just wants to be mean to people, to feel better, to feel powerful or something. That is pure speculation on my part, but that is the vibe that I get. Obviously, Trisha says that she feels bad about this. She feels a little bit embarrassed, but she's tried to step back and be more embarrassed for Colleen for engaging in those behaviors. And also says again that it's potentially illegal, along with being just disgusting, to send unsolicited pictures to people, including, allegedly, minors. I want to read you one quote from the video that I took down because it just kind of puts the whole thing into perspective. Trisha says, "These weren't a long time ago. This is someone well into their 30s who just gave birth, sending nudes. And a month prior, I was in her house, meeting her child, and doing a mukbang with her." If you take away the fact that she may have sent this to teenage fans, it is just blatantly disgusting. It's horrible, nasty behavior from somebody who is clearly extremely insecure and who is also just mean and a liar and likes to make fun of people for whatever reason. I can't put myself in the brain of somebody who acts like that. I really, really can't. It's just horrific. And then when you bring in the aspect that she may have sent this stuff to teenagers, ages like 14-ish, then it gets into criminal territory. And that is something she needs to be extremely worried about. The fact that this person had access to a lot of underage people, and I'm not suggesting anything like that happened, but she was at least manipulating them. At least engaging in things that she shouldn't have engaged in. And the fact that she is a mother is bizarre. I really hope that her poor kids never learn about any of this. Because imagine just like having to hear all this about your mother. I hope that she raises them right. I hope that she hides how nasty she really is from her kids, so they never for one learn about that behavior, learn to take on that behavior, and they never find out how horrible their mother is. I really, truly hope that. And that's not me trying to be mean, I genuinely hope that for their kids. Again, like I said, it's an opinion piece. This whole thing is an opinion piece. It's alleged, yada yada. But do let me know in the comments what you think about all of this. And if you don't want to leave me a comment about that, then leave me a comment just letting me know how your day is going. Because I would really, really like to know. I want to catch up with you guys. I was missing some uploads for a while, so I miss you guys. But yeah, let me know how you're doing. Follow me on social media. I'm VangelinaSkov everywhere. And obviously, very importantly, if you want to help me out, please subscribe, turn on notifications. I was thinking I wanted to reach 90,000 by my birthday, but that's next week. So I don't know if that's possible, but if you want to help me out, then subscribe, please. Like, comment, share, do all the things that I'm supposed to ask you to do at the end of a video, and have an absolutely wonderful day. I will see you in the next one.